imagines and influence the future. And our vision is to be preferred destination to help you and your way to get wings to soar high in life. So which is very clear, and this is self-explanatory also. This is what the vision and the mission values which we have. So we have talked about this. We have 2 offices in India, Bangalore and Indore. Now what happens is, majority of the business, which is approximately 90% of the business, comes from work and study program. So we are concentrating on work and study program, which contributes 90% to our revenue. We capture leads from different sources, and this is basically using social media, Facebook and other platforms. Apart from that, we have Just Dials of the words, and we have Super Receptionist. We use this particular platform. I'll give you the demo of this also, how we are using this particular thing, and very effectively and very efficiently we are following this particular thing, so that we'll get maximum results of these platforms. This is what we do. Apart from that, we use third-party websites also, and we have profit sharing with them also, wherein they keep on giving us a lot of inquiries. We work on those inquiries, get maximum results, we do conversion, and then we do a sharing basis, profit sharing basis. So this is what we follow, and we use other platforms also in order to get a lot of leads. So these leads keep on coming on a regular basis to us. We have very intelligent cloud IVR system. For example, there is a guy who is based out in, say, Mumbai. So what happens is that if this guy has called up on Study Metro's toll-free number, starts with 1800, I'm not able to recollect the rest of the 8 digits. So if this guy has called up 1800, what happens is, instead of that call landing on our mobile or landing on our number, it will land directly on Praveen's number. What happens next? Instead of we taking the details and making a note of that and then again sharing it with Praveen, Praveen will get a call from this prospect, and he can speak to that guy and he will say, boss, this is what you are looking at, and here I am. I'm locally available in Mumbai. Why don't you just drop into my office so that we can have this conversation, and from there they can take it forward. So this is what we do, and we use it. We use this particular platform to the massive extent. So Khushi is wondering what exactly is happening in the room. The expansion plan of Study Metro, which is very important. Now previously, I do remember when I was speaking to Abhishek last year in, if I'm not wrong, September or October, I was just telling him that why don't you just franchise your organization? So he was just wondering, is it possible? I said, why not? So we were just discussing, and he was not sure about this, whether we need to franchise it or not. So we thought of a lot of things. We thought, let's figure it out, the advantages and the disadvantages of making it franchise. We jot down everything and come to the conclusion that we should franchise it. And it took time, I think a month or 2, in order to settle down, and then we have started speaking to the franchisees, and then our first franchisee came from Gujarat, Riddhi. So I think she took almost 10 to 15 days in order to finalize, and we tried our best. We were just literally pushing. We were saying, okay, fine, I'll give you this, that, and all this thing, blah, blah, blah. We have, made n number of promises, which we were not sure of also. So we thought, okay, fine, she's our first franchisee, let's give her our best shot. Finally, cracked. So all credit goes to Abhishek. So then Riddhi came on board, and after that there was no looking back. And we have spoken to a lot of people, and we were choosy. We were very choosy because we wanted a person who should have to have some experience in the education industry. Apart from this, the person should know the students, he should know how to interact with the students. Apart from that, they should be from the same background also. So we were very, very choosy. We were very particular. We used to get a lot of leads. There are a lot of people who used to call us, and they used to say, boss, why don't you just give me a franchisee and I will take care of this particular region also. But we said no. I'm not cognizant about this, but we said no. We said no, we are not at all interested, because we wanted like-minded people to join us. We were very clear. We wanted to join. We want each and everyone should understand our mission and the vision statement. Then only we can proceed. Otherwise, it won't be possible also. That's the reason we were very choosy. Now, the first step was, if we need to expand, we need to franchise our organization. If we need to franchise our organization, because we are not Tata Birlas, we will keep on pumping money into the business, we will keep on opening offices across the state, across the country, and then we'll keep on recruiting people, then we'll keep on we'll take care of their salaries and all the other stuffs also. So we thought, let's franchise it, pull like-minded people, give them one particular state, let them handle that particular state. Apart from that, they will appoint or recruit the sub-franchisees also under them, so that they will do a profit sharing. And then we can expand our reach also, we can increase the margins, we can increase the profit, and the profitability of the organization will grow up. That was the thought process. That's the reason we thought of franchising this particular organization. Previously, we thought that let's recruit or appoint only 2 to 3 franchisees in a year. In a year, only 2 to 3 franchisees. Previously, we thought of that. But now, if you see the numbers, it's 90. I'm taking a pause intentionally. 90 seems to be uphill task for me. But believe me, I believe in this, because recruiting 90 people, these people will invest on Study Metro. They will show that, boss, I have faith on Study Metro. The kind of services what each and everyone will be getting are absolutely up to the mark. That's the reason I'm putting a figure of 90 over there. And believe me, not even a single organization in India has ever thought about this, that they can franchise that organization also. Not even a single organization, and by that time they will realize that these guys are franchising the organization. It will be very late for them, and by the time they will realize, I'll be out of India and I'll be doing expansion out of India, which is basically international expansion. Am I too loud? Silence. Okay, so this is what we thought. At present, I'll share the pictures, I'll share the numbers and everything with you, so that you will understand that what exactly we are doing. So basically, we want to become a #1 player or national player as far as India is concerned. Now this is what my favorite slide. This is basically all the organizations related with education sector. They are growing big time. Reason? Better income, status quo, n number of reasons better known to them only. So what I feel is basically, this is a report which has come from UNESCO 2014, which says that the market size in 2015 was approximately 590 crores. For a safer side, for easy calculation, let's put it as in 600 crores. And the prediction is by 2020, we'll be touching a magical figure of 1100 crores. Who can do this? Seems to be impossible for me. Doubling the numbers, 100% growth, particularly education sector. Who can do this? We will do it. No big deal. No rocket science here. We all will make money. We all will make money. We all will ensure that, whatever we are talking makes sense. Any questions? Relevant, irrelevant, anything stupid, anything? By the way, from my side, stupid means smart, talented, ultimate person I desire. So any question? Anything? Okay, so you all are with me then. Okay, next please. One more figure. Can you come a little down, right? Again, this report come from This is from British Council report, UN report 2014, which says that, I think I've talked about this a lot of times to a lot of people, still for the benefit of all. In India, what happens is there are approximately 2 lakh students who are applying for these courses in order to pursue their career out of India, but there are only 2 lakh students, or I should say 20% of those students who are able to crack it. What is happening with the remaining 80% of the students? We all are doing business for 20%, which is 2 lakh students. No one is bothered to touch the remaining 8 lakh students, which is big numbers. No courses, nothing has been designed in India in order to tap 8 lakh students. And I'm stepping in there. One more figure. Most of the people want to go to US. Reason, I don't know. 53%. Apart from this, US, I don't know, UK. So UK is 18 and US is 53. Put all together approximately for easy calculation, let's take it as in 68. That means 70%. 70% of the people between US and UK, what is happening? And we are very strong in US, by the way. We are very, very strong in US. So if you have any candidate who is, sorry to use a word, but shit, bring it to us. We will try our best. I'm not at all giving you any kind of assurance. I'm not at all giving you any kind of confidence or not, but I do carry that particular confidence in me that if someone comes and we'll spend say 1 day, 2 day, 3 day, he will feel that yes, some positive vibes. That's what we feel, and we are very, very happy about this. So this is about the slide, and US and UK, majority of the business goes to UK and US. Very interesting. Why people are going to abroad? New opportunities. A lot of opportunities are lying. They want to encash it. They just want to go out of India and they say, boss, let me just go out and do this PGDBM course or BB or in number of things. They have so many courses. So they just want to go out of India and want to pursue the career. That's basically a lot of opportunities lying over there, which we are not able to provide. Apart from this, better lifestyles, we all know this. Matter of fact is, we are not able to provide better lifestyles to, in fact, for that matter, I have 2 kids, by the way. I have a daughter who is 6 years, my son is 2 years old. So if I get a chance to send my daughter or my son out of India, I will surely do that. I don't know whether you guys will agree with me or not. A lot of you are still bachelors. So what happens is, I feel, or in fact most of the people sitting in this particular room would agree with me that lifestyle, okay, apart from this, the social importance, the status quo and a lot of other factors are there which are not at all available as far as India is concerned. We don't feel secure and safe if I want to step out, say after 8 p.m. and or for that matter, I don't mind, I don't want my wife to step out of my home after 8 o'clock. GPS facility, which people gives assurance that yes, we have excellent GPS facilities and things like that, but then also nothing happens. So I'm saying we know our negatives. We know. That's the reason if you all get an opportunity to send our kids, we'll surely do that. We'll encash it. Same is with other people. Apart from this, we have a lot of brighter career prospects also, which is basically new opportunities, high earning potential, significant value additions. So these are some of the points which most of us consider, so that these guys can go out and settle down over there. Now, very interesting, why franchising? Why are we doing franchising? So, when we were thinking about franchising of our organization, we thought that, if we franchise it, we'll be having only few offices across. What is the next step? How these guys will get the business? Or if I start sharing leads with them, am I able to sustain into the business? The answer was no. So what should be the revenue model? How I can sustain into the business? That's very important. It's a competitive world. We have to come out with some or the other solution in order to sustain into the business. Apart from that, we need to keep on minting monies. I'm not saying making monies, I'm saying minting monies. The reason is, until and unless we have location-specific franchise centers, it's not at all possible to give services or to reach my mission statement, which was to give affordable, and I missed out. Okay, so so it's very difficult, to reach my mission statement. That's the reason I'm saying let's have location-specific franchisees. Now what happens is, let me just give you an example. Let's talk about Praveen again. Now Praveen is taking care of Maharashtra. In Maharashtra, I don't think so Praveen will be, or they can do justice. Don't take me otherwise, I'm using the word justice. But what happens is that you have a big state. Now if I give rights to one individual to cover the entire state like Maharashtra, it's next to impossible. You will not do justice to the business. So what we are thinking is, let Praveen recruit 5 or 10 sub-franchises under them. He will train them, he will nurture them, he will impart knowledge with them. He'll ensure that these guys are following our mission and vision statements, and from there, they'll kick off. We will do a complete hand-holding. We'll ensure that these guys understood each and everything, and from there, we will take it forward. And then we'll be having a team also, people like Zaid who are able to handle the franchises. He will do training for the sub-franchises also till the time these guys understood each and everything in a clear fashion itself. So if I have, hypothetical scenario, if I have 2 to 3 main franchisees in Mumbai, and under them we have 5 franchisees each. So 4 main franchisees, and then you have 5 sub-franchisees. If my maths is right, 24 people on board in Maharashtra. All are doing pretty good. How does it sound? Great, right? The other advantage is, we will not do it, don't worry about that, we will not recruit so many people. But what I'm saying is, the reach, assume about the reach. Massive. We are talking about big numbers here. We will cover each and every place. We will cover each and every college. We will cover each and every student. For that matter, whether irrespective of this, whether a person will come on study metro or not, that's a different thing. But at least we are approaching them, we are reaching, we are making them understand that yes, there is a prospect, there is an opportunity lying. Why don't you just encash it? At least that much we can do. And if you speak to 200 people or 500 people, I'm sure if I'll take a worst case scenario 50%, we are able to crack 250 people. We are talking about 250 students as of now. Big numbers. 250 is a big number, and we have approximately 27 or 29 states in India. Let's take 30. 30 into 250. Let's take 100, 3,000 students. Anyone would like to debate with me on these numbers? I'll be more than happy. Okay, so we have from Acharya College, right? The issues what colleges have nowadays, recruitment, they are not at all getting the students in the earlier stages, or they have to invest heavily on digital marketing, on brochures, hoarding, boarding, a lot of other things, n number of things. The ratio is 10:1. if we help you out in order to get the students from our franchisees. What do you feel about that? What about your placements? What kind of placement? Okay, yeah. By the way, I'm not covering my presentation as of now.
Yeah, actually, I think I discussed this with Abhishek when he was in my office. The major issues what I have seen here, I mean, I have a global exposure for over 24 years, basically an NRI, and now I'm RNRI. So when I talk about NRI, it's non-required Indians actually. So just to put it on a light note. The kind of exposure that I had abroad and when I came here, it took me by a great surprise that, in spite of actually, I think Abhishek will agree with me when he came to my campus, it is a state-of-art campus and we have one of the top-notch facilities, plus the faculty is really, really great and highly knowledgeable. In spite of me doing all these services and we do have a lot of agents all around India and stuff like that, but still, I didn't see that kind of volume which I expected it to be. Like I know this time, it's just not because I'm working for Acharya I'm saying this, but I have been to a lot of colleges and since education has been my passion and I have had a similar experience in Toronto as well where I worked with Centennial College. So out of those kind of experiences, actually I have seen that people are there is a lot of potential for business marketing in Toronto. So I think somewhere around the line we're missing on the key edge. We're not touching the right demography. This is what I felt. And I totally agree with what he says. Targeting about more than 2 lakh students going abroad, every year is a massive number. It's beyond my imagination, but still, we're not actually yet there to target that kind of students when it comes to Acharya. Even in the immigration part of it, I have seen many organizations struggling with getting the numbers. Maybe I think the marketing part and how you present your product is more important and more creating an awareness. That is what is the key here is more important. People are digitally very aware and everything is available in just a flick of a button when you have your phone in hand. Since the time I've come, just fiddling, most of my business is just done through my phone. So when we are that capable, obviously we could send across this message very loud and clear and target those kind of potential students. I think that would be a great thing. And definitely what I liked about the study method is, they are more focusing on the placement part, which is the key. See, there are about thousands of graduates who are graduating every year. But what is the kind of percentage who get into a job? After doing an engineering degree for 4 to 5 years, and he's landing up in a job for say about 12 to 15,000 rupees. That equation really doesn't appeal me in any way. Engineering and asking for, and I'm not even talking about even the doctors, they're ending up with jobs like 15,000 to 20,000, and doctor's profession is supposed to be something that is unique for me, and when you tell him he's a doctor, he'll say, oh wow. But now, I think as a consultant, I need beautifully need on the doctors or engineers, I just to put it on the light note, that is actually a current scenario now. I see graduates coming with double MBA and stuff like that, but when they sit in front of me, the way they talk, I'm literally counting stars, what is there? They don't have that skill, what is required for the thing. Maybe you guys should also do some skill training along with this thing, at least, I know you guys are into internships and stuff like that, but before even they go to internship, this actually played a key role was how I presented my resume, how I attended my interviews, and plus what is the actual skill required to do a specific task. For example, if I'm a consultant, what are my key? My key is, I need to have an excellent presentation plus my speaking skills, my communication, my business writing, and how knowledgeable am I with that particular sector. If I'm going for education consultant, I should have a thorough knowledge about what is happening in the education, especially the facts and figures. So this is where I feel that you guys could definitely make an impression by doing some kind of a skill training before even they are placed elsewhere. I think I would conclude.
Thank you so much. So what for better understanding, let let me just tell you what exactly I've done. I've done my BBA and PGDBM. So I just went for these colleges. I don't want to name these colleges. Both are in the heart of the city in Bangalore. I went for campus recruitment, and I was supposed to recruit at least 65 to 70 people. 65 to 70 students. That was a big number. When I spoke to them and I said I'm looking out for so many people, so he said, okay, fine, that would be great, and why don't you just drop in the morning itself, and I'll see to it that I have 100 or 150 students in the campus. I was happy. I spoke to my boss. I said, hey boss, I'll be getting at least 60 to 75 people from this institute, and they have a reputation, they have a name. So he said, okay, fine. Went. I was in a room and all these guys came inside. I don't want to show the pictures, but yes, I've shown it to Zaid, Abhishek and other people also who are locally available in Bangalore. What happened? These guys were shabby. No shaving, no proper grooming. They don't know how to talk. They don't know what to talk. On top of that, they don't know how to dress up. I'm not saying that you have to be smart. What I'm saying is that if you're carrying anything, please put it nicely. It should not look awkward. Beard is coming. Shirt is coming out from the pant. I just went over there, I spoke to the placement coordinator. I said, why don't you just spend some 15-20 minutes with me? So he said, yes sir, we'll come. I was sitting with the placement coordinator, apart from that the principal also. I said, hey, you would require some training from my side. Because I don't think so I'll select even a single person out of this. And this is not their fault also. You guys are not at all spending good quality time with them in order to make them understand what is required in the competitive world. You need to be presentable. Forget about the interaction, forget about the language, forget about the skills, forget about the knowledge which you have. That comes secondary. These guys didn't know anything. So then we thought, then I've discussed with Abhishek also, I just said that, why can't we do one thing? Let's speak to the colleges, have campus offices in each and every college. I'm sure you will be having a placement coordinator and you are not a placement coordinator. Thank God. Okay, so what happens is that I was saying that let's have a interaction with these guys, the directors, and we'll say, boss, I'll replace your placement coordinator. I'll become your placement coordinator. I'll train your students. I'll see to it that these guys are moving up the ladder and they are up to the mark and they know each and everything from the very scratch. I'll teach them. We will have trainer who will go to your place, who will go to your institute, and they will teach each and every individual what to talk, how to present and things like that, the basic etiquettes. And what's there for the colleges? Again, some figures, some numbers which I want to talk about, because we have only one institute here and the people will be joining us post lunch. And I think we'll on an annual basis, any organization, any institute will shell out approximately 3.6 lakhs for placement coordinators. You can interrupt me, you can correct me anywhere if I'm going wrong. 3.6 lakh rupees. I'm saying, you give me that piece. I'll charge only 2 lakh rupees. I'll see to it that you get the students, they'll get the placement. Apart from that, the brand has been created and we'll do hangam in the market. How does it sound? Can I have the mic, please? I'm not at all happy about this. Please elaborate. Okay.
Yeah, it does make sense.
So, this is what we thought of, and that's the reason we thought that, this will be another product which we are giving to our main franchisees apart from the other sub-franchisees also, and get into the training model. What we'll do? We will have campus offices in each and every college. The students will come and we will not charge anything from them. We are not going to charge anything from the students. We will just ensure that we are spending good quality time with each and every individual. We'll figure it out, the negatives and the positives of that particular student, and we'll work on those skills. And we see to it that they understand it and then they come up of that particular hurdle. That's what we thought of. And we are working on that. And we have spoken to a couple of colleges, they have already agreed to give us campus offices. So the same thing, I want to implement and replicate the same thing in all the states. So assuming that we have so many campus offices, again we are talking about big numbers here. Every main franchisee will be having additional 2 lakh rupees of revenue on an annual basis. Apart from your existing piece, apart from your existing revenue, we are adding up 2 lakh rupees. Are you guys happy about this? We'll make it possible. What do you say, Charles?
So you're talking about the campus office in the colleges. So if you say in Coimbatore market, and we have around, you can name it as a college hub. So, but fortunately there is no proper guidance and even the college, but still college is having more populations. But the students we are passing out on every year is almost 1,500 to 2,000 from each and every curriculum. But what's happening is like what she has been saying, that almost 15 for 12,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees they are just going to join. It is totally irrelevant markets. But because there is no proper career counseling is being happening. So what I would recommending is like if you can provide us the proper training in terms of how to approach the college, and the college also must be getting some benefits, because and as well as how to branding the study matter among the colleges through franchisee. So that will help us even, and for that whatever the cost factors involving, we are ready to do it.
Point taken. Anyone else? Any other thought? Okay, so what we are doing is, as you rightly said that, students are spending, they'll shell out say 15,000 or 20,000 rupees in order to, get some knowledge or go for any crash course and things like that. So, which they assume that, after going through these courses, that particular hurdle will go off. So, what we are thinking is, the moment we'll get into any college, I think the session starts from June or July. So the moment we get into any college from July onwards, and we are there from July till final placement, which is in September or October or, okay. So what happens is, we are interacting with all these students day in and day out. We know their plus and minuses. We categorize these people under A, B and C. Under A, people who can go out of India to pursue their career. Finance does matter, but we'll figure it out. We'll put them under A category, that yes, these guys can go out and these are my prospect as far as work and study program is concerned, as far as study metro is concerned. Then comes the B. Majority of the people who comes into the 80% of the bracket, the students, are lacking in some or the other thing. Either they don't have communication skills, or they don't have presentation skills, or some of the other skills, they are lacking in that. So we will work on that and we'll put them under B. We'll say, okay fine, we will work on these skills and we will give them some crash course, maybe a period of say a month or two, and we'll charge them. That's again, we will figure it out, we'll do a brainstorming, figure it out whether we should put it as in 15,000 rupees or 20,000 rupees or what number. Per state it will vary. becomes C. C, basically these guys are dead wood. You can't do anything. All the schools and all the colleges will be having some other students who are fit for nothing. Now, I have another business. The organization is looking for the candidates. We are doing tie-up with them also. So here I am as a supermarket. I have students who want to pursue a career out of